Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flick Show. My name is Chris Wong. Aloha Friday, guys. It's the weekend, and I get to see Meg, tomorrow. So there'll be a review on that. But before we go into that, DCEU, there's a little bit more rumors going around, and this is in regards to Birds of Prey, because Birds of Prey is supposed to be started shooting like next year, and so you would expect, well, shouldn't we fill those roles? I mean, we only got Margot Robbie, right? Pretty much. Well, this rumor is on BatmanNews.com, and they probably got it for someone else, but it's actually from the scooper at Daniel RPK. Who says that Lady Gaga was offered the role of either Huntress or Black Canary 3 months ago, but she turned it down. Oh well. So that's why you tweeted out. And for you thinking like Lady Gaga, what? But I thought the same before I saw American Horror Story, right? The hotel one. And during that time, it says, oh, they casted Lady Gaga in that. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting, but I guess it's, American Horror Story. She's got that type of, persona, if you will. And, when it came out, I was like, oh, she was pretty good, She really stood up with, among the greats like Kathy Bates and stuff like that. So it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that was pretty good. She can act. That's the only one where I saw her acting. I haven't seen anything else, at least I don't think so, of any movies she's been in. But, and that's kind of like out of the side. I didn't even think they would have offered Lady Gaga those roles, but you can kind of see her doing interesting things with those characters in a way. So it's a shame, but it does tell you one thing, that they're already trying to look for people. I mean, they're actively looking for people. If this is true, if Daniel's right, they've been actively looking for people months ago, trying to fill the roles of Black Canary, Huntress, Cassandra Cain, and Renee Montoya. So there is that going on. So we'll continue. I mean, there should be more significant updates as it gets closer towards the end of the year, if they are looking to shoot by the beginning of the year next year, right? So Birds of Prey, that seems to be one of the first things they're going to work on as soon as 2019 rolls up. By our time around, we're watching Shazam and stuff. So the next thing is Ray Fisher. I don't know if you remember, but there was that little poem or things that he put out that kind of gave everybody everybody nervous, a little bit scared, and he could have been talking about anything. It doesn't have to be the DC or anything like that, or Snyder cut. Could have been, maybe he broke up with somebody or something happened, right? So I guess he wanted to clear the air. So he actually tweeted out something. He actually tweeted out this. He says, I don't usually engage the rumor mill, but its recent turn may be worth a little grist. I am not, nor do I have any intention of leaving Cyborg. Furthermore, if and when the time comes for me to hang up my all too revealing mocap onesie, you will hear it from me directly. So thanks, Ray, for clearing that up, clearing the air. And of course, he says hashtag Borg Life, like he always does. So that just reveals it to everyone that, like Yahya, Abdul would say, don't believe in those bloggers. Those bloggers will be lying, So, it has a little bit of that. So it's kind of cool to see a celebrity, star like Ray Fisher come out and say something, just reveal it firsthand and say, hey, look. If I'm not gonna be Cyborg, I'm gonna tell you. I wish Ben Affleck would do that. Just come on and tell us, alright, Ben. Let's see what's going on with that. But Ben's more of an A-list actor, and he probably has a way of saying things and doing things that are like all those other A-list. They're very political. They're very, like that. So, but I'm glad that Ray came out and spoke to us fans to say what his intentions are, and if there are any. And that poem that he did probably didn't have anything to do with Cyborg. And just relax people. So I'm glad for that. I'm really, really happy for that. Next thing I want to go into is an article, and he did a podcast. John Aaron Garza. He did it for DC Films Hub. I'm going to link this article in my description, but he wrote down an exclusive as an editorial what I learned about Justice League after talking to a VFX artist. Now, I don't want to read you this because I would like you to go and actually read the article or listen to their podcast, but he does bring up some interesting things from talking to this VFX artist, and most of the times he's interpreting what he's being told here. But I like how he gets into it. I like his thinking. I really do. I like his thinking and how because the VFX artists will be working in tandem the shoots. If you're in the mind of the VFX artist, they're not really actively knowing what they're working. They're just, here's a project, touch that up, and go. So they don't know if they're working on Zach, they don't know if we're working on Joss Whedon and stuff. But he does come with that interesting questions like, we're seeing all these things. Maybe that football scene was like the huge evidence right there that there was something bigger going, like there was something more complete, right? Remember the Ray Fisher scene with his mom, Victor Stone rather, and you're looking at that as that is big difference. That is a big difference. And so you're looking at that, and you're looking at all the other different scenes all together, and you're wondering, hey, wait a minute, why haven't we seen anything else? We haven't seen Steppenwolf fight at the end of the third act. We haven't seen maybe more of what we interpret as more of a League versus Superman scene. Well, like I said, the entire third act and other things that we feel like there is missing, right? We know that the third act was altered heavily and things like that. So it brings up those interesting questions, and so I really want you to go ahead and read it. DC Films Hub. They also have a podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes, so check that out. It brings up some interesting questions, and a lot of things to brainstorm, but hopefully we don't have to brainstorm too much, as we're really actively trying to get Warner Brothers to release the Snyder Cut. And so that comes to my conclusion, is that we're still having that Snail Man campaign. We've started it this week. It's Brazil, Argentina, New Zealand, South Africa. Your day has come. Send out those letters. By the time you're hearing this, you probably already did. But if you haven't, it's not really too late. Just send it out. Send it out, and send out those letters. And then as we go on through the different weeks, there will be more and more people sending out throughout the weeks. And there's that date that I put on my image. I put it on my blog. I'm going to put an updated one. I think Vinola7, Chris at Vinola7, he actually sent me a new updated one. It probably has a little bit more countries down there. And so go ahead, look at those countries, look where you're at, and send on those days. The idea, it's not perfect, but the idea is that come Monday, August 27th, Walter Amado walks into his room and sees a huge stacked pile of letters, and for him to look at it and read and realize how much real this is. We're not just a bunch of bots on Twitter. We are physically real people who really want to see Zack Snyder's Snyder Cut, and just to show a little bit more of the artistic integrity of his work. And you signed him on to do this. He spent a lot of his time making this film, and it would be great if you let him show his film the way he wanted to show it, or whatever he approves at this point, just to have some peace to the fandom for him as he moves on to other things, and just finish it. And so I think this is a great thing, the Snail Mail campaign. If it worked for Donner Cut years ago, what is it, 20 years, I don't know how many years ago, then maybe it'll work for Justice League, the Snyder Cut. Alright guys, well, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.